32 FM 94.9.
Can he play?
The best players in the world and their best plays. It's sports on 32 FM 94.9.
The best players in the world and their best plays.
Magic again.
Messi through 4.
Brilliant!
Threads it in. And there's the goal from Pedro.
It's sports on 32 FM 94.9.
After the tactics comes the play. After the goal comes the uproar. It's sports on 32 FM 94.9.
Picks up Tyrese Halliburton, is back to Andrew Nembhard.
Siakam left wide open. Pascal Siakam buries his first three-pointer. Turner thought about it, now puts it on the floor. Little fake, kicks it back out. Siakam, Halliburton lines up a long three-pointer. Got it! Williams on the drive, forces up a shot. Good defense from Siakam. Halliburton launches another one. Puts it in, back-to-back threes for Tyrese Halliburton. Halliburton very aggressive, looking for his shot. Another three-point attempt. That one short. Williams tips it, but Catherine right there to pick it up. Halliburton tries again. Halliburton hits again. His third three-pointer already. They greet SGA at half court. Gets past Turner, kicks it out Caruso. Gets another good look from three. That's good. Caruso off the bench with back-to-back threes. Halliburton against SGA. One-on-one on that side. Nembhard kicks it out. Toppin. Good contest from Dort. Halliburton falls down. He looks hurt. Here comes SGA the other way. Inside, and Williams throws it down. Halliburton's hurt right away when he fell. Oh, you get in a situation like this, you're just sick to your stomach for the young man. We'll take a timeout.
Now this is sick. One of the most lovable players in this league.
And Nembhard also a superb backup point guard. Siakam goes inside to drive to finish. And a whistle and a foul, so a chance for a three-point play. Siakam, high arcing jump shot. Blocked by Holmgren on the follow. Indiana hoping for a miracle. Dort reaches in and comes up with another steal. 22nd turnover for Indiana.
A short list of guys who've won MVP and Finals MVP in the same season. Yeah, the scoring title in there, that list gets even shorter. Now that you guys have crossed the finish line, are you able to wrap your head around that historic company that you've joined?
Yeah, it's hard to believe that I'm part of that group. It's hard to even fathom that I'm that type of basketball player sometimes. As a kid, you dream, and every kid dreams, but you don't ever really know if it's going to come true. And I'm just glad and happy that my dreams have been able to come true, and that's a thank you to everyone that's been in my corner that's helped me get here. I wouldn't be able to done without them. They know exactly who they are. So yeah, it's a win for the family.
All right, so there you have the voice of SGA, they call him. SAMIES will help you with the full name. Welcome to 94.9 32 FM. Scoreboard Reloaded. I am Peter Omo, and I've got SAMIES here with me, so we'll touch all the headlines. See if 25 will be enough for us to get all of these across to you. Some of them you've heard, some of them you know, what we'll just be doing to hear that voice. Favor of Philly. You had that news over the weekend. If you haven't, she is not on her way. I'll say she's no longer a Nigerian athlete, but now don't call him Turkey. Don't say that Turkey. They don't stop that name for a while now. It's Tokai. So I remember it was Czech, and Tokyo changed the name to Țekai and Tokai. Okay, Turkey, just for the context of all of this. So let's get that straight. Of course, the Club World Cup also got so many people talking in terms of the weather. And I heard this morning from the BBC that it will get hotter in the days ahead. For those who've got that game 2 a.m., good for you. But those who have to play for 5 p.m., not too good. But let me also let you know that those games for 5 p.m., we're done with them. Those games you have for 1 p.m. in the US, it can be crazily hot. You see these players, what they go through. And someone will say to me, let them come to Bono or go to Yola in Adamawa, they don't understand. But hey, don't go there because everybody have got their own cross to carry now. So those games no longer be for 5. We're done with the first group games. The first 2 group games, now we're in the last group games where games will be played same time in terms of each group. So we've got those games coming up later today. 2 games, and then 2 a.m. on Monday morning just to wrap up the group stage. And then the Tuesday. And then we'll begin to have a picture of the round of 16. Someone was saying maybe Manchester City against Real, the way it stands right now in that group. Sitting top is Real, coming second in the order is Manchester City. But City have got a game against Juventus that might decide who picks up the top in that group. Welcome one more time. This weekend also is our own FA Cup final. Abakaliki will be playing against Kwara United. We'll build up to that. Maybe not today, but just to put it out there that this weekend is the FA Cup final. And it's not buzzing. That's the bad thing. It's not really buzzing. You don't see it. It's not flying. Maybe the NFF will have to do something about that. Super Falcons, then Lisbon, they've got a game tonight against Portugal. It's a friendly game ahead of the WAFCON. It will be in Morocco, but the guys are camping in Portugal. They have 2 games, one against Portugal and the one against the Black Queens of Ghana. SAMIES, what was your weekend like? Share with me in 2 minutes.
Good afternoon, Peter. Good afternoon to everyone.
Come for the fitness. So
yeah, I was about to say that.
You didn't show up for the fitness. You see Kenny's face is looking good because he was there for the fitness.
I missed
Usman
out.
Also, was Usman there? Oh, Kenny didn't come for the fitness. Oh, Usman, I wanted to mention Usman, but Kenny. But I've got these 2 guys with me. So you see Usman's face is a bit there. Yeah. But look at Kenny's face and your face.
But bro, are you going to continue with the fitness?
No. He's not. You play John, so don't think he's John from fitness.
Okay.
Kenny play. Don't. I don't Kenny. Kenny don't play football. SAMIES play football on a Saturday between 9, 10, 11 before it comes for the pitch. So you can't compare to Kenny who doesn't play football at all. So I wonder where you were on Saturday when you didn't come for the fitness. You were absent. Usman was there, but hey, share me your weekend how it went. Don't tell me that you didn't come, so don't even go there at all. So share with me.
For the weekend, it was an exciting one. Like I said, I missed out because I saw videos of those who participated in the fitness, which definitely is a good one. But on the other hand, for everything that happened in the world of sports, maybe just waking up on a Sunday morning to get the not so pleasant news as regards the Athletics Federation of Nigeria, which also carries along the Nigerian Sports Commission and also 𝐒𝐈𝐿 as a person. Well, we would say that that has been maybe a decision long time coming for 𝐒𝐈𝐿 to actually make, because you look at the world did I say more like the World Cup of Athletics, which is the Olympics. In subsequent years,
World Cup Athletics will be the World Athletics Championship. Yeah.
Okay, let's just put it like the Olympics. We've seen now in Tokyo, and also that was in Paris, where she was our hopes of participating in the 100 meters was dashed down to the inconsistency of an individual, a group, and also a nation. I'll put it as that.
Okay.
An individual, right? Someone didn't do the right thing.
And till date,
everybody still has their job. And now for 𝐒𝐈𝐿, I know she has gotten a lot of a backlash as regards a present situation where she has switched allegiance. And that is one thing we see in athletics. Yes, so you can represent a nation this year. Just expect that next year you can see them represent another nation. Because if you don't know that, even myself, I looked at the National Sport Festival, which we had in Ogun State. That was last month. I saw lots of Yoruba names represent some other states. Yeah. And then you look at, that is one thing with athletics. But now for 𝐒𝐈𝐿, I think it's just the best decision for her, where our dreams could actually be achieved. Because Nigeria failed her. I'm not going to lie. They failed her in recent years. And you tell that she's not the only one who actually is actually at the backhand of those decisions by some individuals or group of people. It's not she's not the only one. And then you say that what decision has been made since the end of the Olympic Games? Has there been a roundtable discussion to say, okay, this is Favour Ofili, this is the individuals who were involved in not putting a name on the list for her to participate in the 100 meters? Because 2024 was somewhat of the best year of Favour Ofili, and we saw her in the heats of the 200 meters. How she ran she was in a blistering performance in the 200 meters. She participated in the finals, which definitely was not good enough for her to actually finish that on the podium. But we saw her and we felt like she could give something in the 100 meters, but we were unable to see that. And then we go back to 2020 there in Tokyo, where the due diligence of the Athletics Federation in testing some stars going to the Olympics, they fell short, and then the athletes had to pay for what the federation failed to do. Remember that all of these stars, they actually need to control what they take in, their intake, but there should be a rule guiding them also. Right. What were those rules put in place? And outside the Favour Ofili issue also, we talk about the FIFA Club World Cup. Yes, it's also great to see the Bellingham brothers are scoring in back-to-back days. And then we've seen 2 teams so far reaching the round of 16 automatically of the FIFA Club World Cup. And so we expect the 3rd round of games to begin later today, and then we see all of that. But the biggest one in the early hours of today, that's the world of basketball. In 17 years, the Indiana Pacers, or let's say the Oklahoma City Thunders, yes, they got their trophy, and it was definitely a good one. And a man who definitely performed from the regular season down to the conference and all of that to the finals. Well, what a performance for him in the finals. And just like we were saying, it would be so great to see the game get into Game 7. 3-3 it was. And now
And this will be the first time in close to 10 years?
Yes.
They'll be having the NBA final stretch into Game 7.
Into Game 7. But I felt for the Indiana Pacers, maybe they fell short in the finals because of the ill injury to Tyrese Haliburton, who definitely suffered an injury in that game. But kudos to the likes of 𝐿 Gilgeous-Alexander and also Cardoso. Remember, he's the only one who has an NBA championship, an NBA ring within the Oklahoma City Thunders. But right now, he has 2. And you tell that it's actually great that he led these guys alongside the 𝐿 Gilgeous-Alexander to that's an NBA title.
All right. So Sam is there just trying to take a wrap of what his weekend was like. And for me, the sad have got to do with Favour Ofili. When that news first came, I thought maybe it was a joke, kind of. But I knew that from the source I got that news from, that can be a joke. And maybe for someone like me, I wanted to mention it aftermath of the Olympic Games. But I thought the AFN and the National Sport Commission will resolve it and then bring some names out.
See, Peter, sorry, before you get that, the then Minister for of Sports,
Senator
Eno,
yeah,
right after the Olympics, we know that it was after the Olympics, the sports ministry was also dissolved, and then we had the sports commission. Outside that, I expected the sports commission to actually look into that vividly and then pick something out from that incident.
What really annoys me is
nothing has been done.
Nothing, yes. I'm going to get to that point, but let me just get to it without me putting the template. What gets me annoyed is when I see people come and support wrongdoings. You've got friends at the helm of affairs, National Sport Commission, and then you come on a platform and then you want to do what they call shalaye. This is not about anything. It's about getting justice. That girl was crying, SAMIES, during the Olympic Games. She was weeping because of what happened. And not only her, you can recall that Toby also have gone a bit quiet. You get what I'm saying? A couple of years ago, I just put out her name. A couple of years ago, it was Blessing Okagbari. When was the last time you heard about her? So if
she was part of those who were actually banned at the 2020
Olympics. Yes, I remember well. So if you begin to put all of these into replay, some of these guys would not represent Nigeria. And let me say this, just like I wanted to say a couple of months ago, but I could not. But let me say it now, that I will not be amazed if there are more athletes that will switch allegiance in the coming days. Now we've seen people of Philly. Maybe one or two again, SAMIES will be in the news in the coming days. But we'll have to move fast because of our time. Like I said, 25 hopefully should be enough for us to give you all the headlines. SAMIES also did mention the Club World Cup going on in the US, how teams have performed. But SAMIES, let me also bring to your notice and to you straight that the Brazilian club have not failed. Palmeiras, Fluminense, Flamengo, Botafogo, they are top of their group as we speak and just look like they might just be in that round of 16 of this year's Club World Cup. But speak to me about the weather situation, SAMIES.
Well, if you talk about the weather situation, it is not the best for that's all of these stars. In what way is it not the best? Remember that it's not only the Americans we have playing football there. Those who are used to the European climate, to the African climate, I think they are also the oceanic and also the Asian climate. They are also involved in this competition. And for example, the game between Mamelodi Sundowns and Borussia Dortmund, the bench players were actually in the dressing room.
No, that's for Dortmund. Sundowns there.
Yeah, of course.
Dortmund players would not stand
Sundowns, of course.
Yeah.
Of course, Sundowns. But then you look at some of these situations where it is sketchy for these players. But you say that they have to do it because they get paid. It is their job. Nobody is going to do it for them. But then I think they should put into consideration all of these things. And from what I could gather just in the early hours of today also, Jude Bellingham, that's the Real Madrid midfielder who scored a goal for yesterday, he said the pitches aren't great here. It holds up the ball. It holds up. The ball barely bounces and it is tough on the knees as well. And that is him speaking just ahead of the 2026 FIFA World Cup.
Is that something FIFA should start considering?
I think they should actually
before I allow you to react to that, just a few days ago, before the Real's game against Pachuca, I saw a statement from the Real Madrid website saying that their players at this year's Club World Cup, there's a likelihood that those who have suffered ACL will not play at the Club World Cup. Dani Carvajal, Eder Militao, Alaba, they might likely not be playing. They are there in the US with the team. The reason is
it stretches the feet.
They've checked the pitch and they realize that pitch will not be good for them coming back. And I was thinking that City also we might probably look at that because of their, let me say, maybe one of or their star player, the Ballon d'Or winner at the moment, that's Rodri. But I saw him last night, came on in the game against Al-Hin, where they won by 6-0 for Nico Gonzalez. So does it begin to speak to issues where FIFA will have to take a look at this? I remember before the start of the Club World Cup, we're speaking about issues of those who couldn't get visa to go to the Club World Cup because of the latest rule for the Trump administration. Do they also begin to look at the issue of the weather and the pitch also now?
Well, going into the what's it called? The FIFA World Cup. Yes, I think they've hosted the World Cup before, right? That was in the year 1994. And now this is another time where the world is more civilized and we are more open to things. And maybe to say, how many cover stadiums do we have in the US? That could actually have helped if we had cover stadiums. But we don't have at this point. And we look at it that these are players, all of these stars, they have the right to complain. And from the Real Madrid situation, it is just a matter of a different stroke for different folks. Manchester City, yes, they want to get their players to match fitness level. And then, of course, for Rodri, who is the best in his position, they want maybe him to get some match fitness before the regular season commences. And then you look at Real Madrid on the other hand. Most of their players they missed the majority of the season, and then you say that they want to get their players back on in good condition to the European scene. But for FIFA, they should actually put into consideration all of these situations as regards the complaints by all the players. Yes, almost all of them are speaking about the same thing, just for the same cause, the weather condition. And I think that actually should get the listening ears of the FIFA president and also those who are in charge of football. Because the 2026 World Cup is going to be bigger, it's going to be much more televised than all of these things. And if they can put into the timing also, maybe they look at the timing of those games at the FIFA World Cup, maybe it could be better. Because there are some games, maybe the games that go down late at night in the US, which is our own midnight here in Nigeria. And maybe that is one thing that we are going to adapt to when it comes to year 2026.
So let's see the games later today, SAMIES, and see how we can dimension some of those games. I know that Group A and B will have their game later tonight, where the likes of Inter Miami, Porto will be playing their game. So where do we start from? Let's start with the one that probably decide. There's Porto against Al Ahly of Egypt. SAMIES, it's a game that both teams want to win. At the moment, they're currently on 1 point each. Fluminense, the Brazilian club, will play against Inter Miami, the home team. So these two teams, all they need to do, SAMIES, is just to share the spoils, right?
Yeah.
1 point at each. That will be 5 points, and they won't care what is happening in the other game between the Portuguese side, Porto, and the Egyptian side, Al Ahly.
Yeah, for Group A, Palmeiras will be playing by 2 a.m. Nigerian time, and also Porto against Al Ahly, 2 a.m. Nigerian time. They go head-to-head against each other, and then you look at their points. For Palmeiras, they have 4 points, while Inter Miami also, they have 4 points. Porto, they have 1 point. Al Ahly, they have 1 point also from their group. So going against each other, the worst-case scenario in this group happens to be that maybe in the 2 games, they both share the spoils, which definitely ends in a draw. That's Palmeiras would have 5 points, while Inter Miami also will be on 5 points. FC Porto would have 4 points if they draw. If we have 2 points rather if they draw, while Al Ahly also would have 2 points if they draw. But if it happens that either of these teams get their victory later today, to be down to their marginal victory also, where we talk about goal difference. For Palmeiras, they have a goal difference of 2. While they'll be up against Inter Miami. Inter Miami, they have 1. For FC Porto, they have a goal difference of -1, while Al Ahly, they have a goal difference of -2. So that's the situation there in Group A of the FIFA Club World Cup. Remember, their game is set to go down by 2 a.m. But for the other group that's in Group B, that game is set to go down by 8 p.m. later tonight. And that's the group where we have Botafogo, who defeated Paris Saint-Germain the last time by 1-0. That's Igor Jesus was the one who scored the goal. Remember, he's set to join Nottingham Forest during the summer transfer window. And then we also have Atletico de Madrid in this group. Paris Saint-Germain, rather, they have 3 points. Atletico de Madrid, they have 3 points after defeating Seattle Sounders, who are the whooping guys in that group at this point in time with 0 points. So the game actually to look out for in this group is Atletico de Madrid against Botafogo, 6 points and 3 points in this group. Remember, the goal difference also doesn't favor Atletico de Madrid because they are on -2.
All right, so there you have it there in terms of the Club World Cup. So let's wrap up the show this Monday afternoon with one thing that SAMIES did not mention at the start of the show, but I'll do that just to wrap it up. So your thoughts about Mikel Obi saying that...
I was going to say that. See, I just never wanted to add that into this discussion.
No. Because I brought it up, so you allow me to end.
Okay.
All right, so I'd like you to talk to me about the John Obi Mikel situation and something here. Obi said this, not the first time he's saying it, but I don't get why we're getting response now. He said this a couple of years ago that it was the one that foot the bill when the team were on their way to the Olympic Games in Rio de Janeiro. That was 2016.
Yeah.
9 years ago. And the last few days, this podcast he did with Peter Crouch also came out to say, I paid the bills, paid the hotel bills, paid money to eat lunch, paid to this and that. And then I also flew the team from the US to Rio de Janeiro for the Olympic Games. And Sasa also came out to say, you did not, man. You did not pay for the flight. Yes, you did pay for meals and all that. And that end of that quote, SAMIES, from Sasa was, if you don't broke, you don't get money again. look for another job.
August 14, 2016.
Okay, so help me with that.
There was a news published where the Youth and Sport Development Ministry, after denying that under-23 captain John
Solomon
Mikel
Dalong.
Obi bailed out the team by paying $4,600 to settle some outstanding hotel bill. Before they departed to Salvador for their quarter-final games against Denmark, has refunded him the money. Refunded him.
Which money?
The money.
Which money?
The money Siamson Siasia is claiming that Mikel Obi didn't foot the bill for the Flying Eagles.
So are you saying that Obi actually foot the bill?
Well, you know one thing. Mikel Obi, trust him. We are going to get a clap back, right? That is one thing.
All I need for Mikel Obi is just receipts.
Show that's why I said Mikel
Show
Obi.
it.
We know we are expecting a clap back from him, because now we are not within the federation. Mikel Obi came out, and then to say that all of these things were evident in that period where the guys had to sleep in the hotel. Mikel Obi left his club side where he had issues with Antonio Conte. Then
I remember well.
He came to the national team, and then he had to, and to cap it all off, his captain performance also helped the boys win that bronze medal.
Let's not go to the performance. Let's stay with the issues that got to do with, did he pay the money for the flights?
See, like I said, we are not within the federation. Mikel Obi said that years ago. Many believed.
I think
he said that months ago. Many believed, but in the recent days now, we've seen a statement or a
I'm
video
not even
by Samson
I'm not even
Siasia,
expecting
which is the
Siasia.
first against we are seeing or we are hearing of as regards Mikel Obi footing the bill.
Okay, so we'll have to go, but let me quickly point this out. I don't expect Sasa the only one to respond to Mikel Obi. The NFF also.
Solomon Dalong, the face cap man, where is his statement also?
So we'll have to go because the choir master here, our producer, is telling us to wrap up and leave because the news is coming up for 4, and that should be Dennika will be here, in a couple of minutes for the news for 4. Go nowhere. We've got more standing by for you, the news, and then home run with Kenny and Dennika will be here for that. Crystal 5 to 6 for a gay, and WhatsApp Niger. Without for that, will be here from 6 to 7. I am Peter.